Hello, my name is Carter Lyron, and today we're going to be discussing the misuse of medical terminology in television, medical dramas, and its impact on public perception. As an introduction, medical dramas have long fascinated television audiences, from ER in the 90s to Grey's Anatomy and The Good Doctor today. These shows immerse viewers in the fast-paced hospital environment filled with emotion, crisis, and complex terminology. While such programs may entertain millions, they can often blur the lines between accurate medical representation and works of fiction. The frequent misuse or oversimplification of medical terminology can distort public understanding of healthcare, influence perceptions of real medical professionals, and even shape patient expectations. This essay will analyze recurring patterns in the use and misuse of medical terminology in television medical dramas, evaluate their accuracy, and discuss their social and psychological consequences. Now, medical dramas often rely on specialized terminology such as code blue, flatline, or stat to build tension for dramatic effect. For instance, in Grey's Anatomy, the word code blue is often used as sort of scenes that reflect a type of emotional climax, implying that cardiac arrest events are a daily occurrence. In reality, a code blue is rare in most hospital departments and typically triggers a structured, calm emergency response, rather than a shouting match between doctors. The pattern here is clear. Medical language is used less for accuracy and more for drama, creating an impression that hospitals are constantly in a state of complete crisis. Television scripts also often condense the diagnostic process into a few scenes. Now, normally this makes narrative sense, you see. Simply put, if a TV show had a doctor sitting at a desk discussing with other doctors, and it was simply them just trying to figure out what was wrong with the patient in a structured, monotonous way, as it most often is, that would make for extremely poor television. As a result, all of this is condensed usually into a single eureka moment. This misrepresents how long real diagnostic processes take and how often uncertain they are. According to the American Medical Association, complex diagnoses typically require multiple tests, interdepartmental collaboration, and patient history analysis, not snap conclusions portrayed on screen. This pattern is that television often simplifies and sensationalizes diagnostics, giving audiences a false sense of medical omniscience. Another recurring issue lies in the context of medical terminology. Shows like The Good Doctor or Chicago Med frequently employ precise medical jargon such as aneurysm rupture, necrotic tissue, or cardiogenic shock without appropriate explanation. This can leave viewers with an impression that mastery of vocabulary equals medical confidence. The terminology often appears disconnected from its real-world significance. For instance, necrosis might be used to describe a mild wound when it actually refers to tissue death, a serious and potentially fatal condition. This pattern reveals that terminology becomes a marker of authority rather than a vehicle of understanding. Television often blurs the boundaries between the responsibility of nurses, residents, and attending physicians in Grey's Anatomy. Interns are often shown performing surgeries unsupervised, even ambulating patients, or making major treatment decisions. In actuality, such actions would violate hospital policy as well as medical ethics. According to the American Nurses Association, nurses' contributions, patient advocacy, long-term care coordination, and emotional support are routinely underrepresented. Thus, the pattern extends beyond terminology misuse into role misrepresentation. Now, what is the impact of this? Audiences exposed to dramatized medical portrayals often expect real hospitals to mirror TV in intensity and speed. A 2023 study in health communication found that regular viewers of medical dramas were more likely to believe doctors should make rapid, decisive interventions, even when caution or observation would be clinically appropriate. This expectation can lead to patient dissatisfaction when real care appears too slow or too cautious. Television shows often depict physicians as deeply flawed geniuses who bend rules to achieve miraculous outcomes. Standard, who, while this might make for compelling drama, it undermines trust in standard procedures and ethics. Viewers may come to believe that good doctors break the rules when in reality, rule breaking can endanger patients. The AMA has noted that such portrayals can subtly normalize unethical behavior in fictional medicine. And also, by centering narratives around surgeons and omitting the vital roles of nurses, technicians, and administrative staff, medical dramas create a hierarchy of heroism, sort of devaluing the work that these other lesser workers do. For example, a surgeon's job would be almost impossible without the work of nurses, technicians, even sanitary workers, and vice versa. But medical dramas seem to portray a skewed view of this, making nurses and other medical workers seem less important compared to doctors and surgeons. But not all effects are negative. Research from Public Health Reports in 2021 shows that medical dramas can inspire viewers to seek legitimate health information or careers in medicine. When terminology is used responsibly, such as in The Good Doctor's discussion of the autism spectrum, it can raise awareness and humanize medical conditions. Why does this misuse persist? Television producers operate under commercial pressure to maintain suspense and emotional engagement. Realistic medical procedures often appear slow or technical, so writers compress timelines and dramatize terminology. Moreover, accurate medical dialogue can alienate audiences who may not know what it means. This creates an ongoing tension between scientific accuracy and narrative appeal. In effect, medical terminology becomes a storytelling device used for authority and emotion rather than accuracy. Now, in conclusion, medical dramas like Grey's Anatomy, House MD, and The Good Doctor have shaped popular understanding of healthcare for decades. Their frequent misuse and oversimplification of medical terminology entertains audiences but distorts the reality of diagnosis, treatment, and teamwork. By dramatizing medicine, these shows create both fascination and misinformation, fostering unrealistic expectations and misunderstanding of healthcare systems. While such media can raise awareness and inspire medical curiosity, responsible use of terminology and expert consultation are vital to preserving both narrative impact and medical integrity. Ultimately, television's portrayal of medicine reminds us that the power of luggage can heal or mislead, and that language, even in fiction, matters deeply when it comes to public health understanding. Thank you very much.